Well, good morning everyone. It's Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. It's the 10th of February and time to start some ginger off. So, last year was a bit of a failure for me. Actually, it was too hot, which was the problem for it. But this year we're ready to go again. So, turn the camera around and just show you how I started. Okay, so this is just some normal shop bought ginger. This lot came from Sainsbury's yesterday, and once again, if you're other customers, you probably think I'm a little bit mad, but I was rummaging around trying to find some bits with some notable eyes to them. So it's the eyes that you're going to get the shoots from. But because they have been obviously in transit and then in the supermarket for a while, they are a bit dehydrated. So, I mean, you can see which side this was facing. So all I do for about a week or so, just sit them in some water. Doesn't want to be covered over, just get the base in there just so they can absorb a little bit. And also, give the tops a bit of a spray over, and that is enough to hopefully help them hydrate and break a little bit of that dormancy. Okay then, so we've got the ginger. It's been in water soaking up moisture for the last 10 days, and you can see that it's well, it's certainly firmer than it was, and it definitely looks as though some of the eyes have protruded out more than they were. So now comes to setting them, or setting the rhizomes out. Going back to a mix that I did a couple of years ago for the ginger, which is my, well, I suppose it's become my go-to mix for the dahlias and things like that, and lilies, which is multi-purpose compost with perlite added to it. So sort of a nice mix. And this year I thought I'd try using some of these saved cell trays or 6-pack trays from bedding plants. So I'm just going to fill a couple of these up, and then we'll start separating the ginger. Right, okay, so we've got the sections of ginger, and using a nice clean sharp knife, just going to be cutting the pieces up. So you want to make sure that each section you cut has got some eyes attached to it, because otherwise when you come to cut it and pop it in, if you've only got a piece of normal section without eyes, then essentially you get nothing sprout. So it's much better to cut them into some reasonable sizes where you know that they're going to form. Don't worry too much about your fresh cut. You can leave it to heal over, or do what I do, just leave it to sit out of the compost. So we just bury this in, just kind of half covering, just so you're going to maintain some contact with the soil, which in turn is the moisture. Firm around, and that is that. And then if you can do, then continue with the other pieces. Right, okay, so I've managed to get nine individual sections out of those 2 pieces, and now to get them to start growing, doing their thing, need to get them into a heated propagator. It's definitely wants the heat. And there we are, so they're going to sit in that propagator with the chrysanthemum cuttings, and hopefully they should get going pretty soon. I'm going to put the other tray indoors. Okay, so 6 weeks on, the greenhouse has definitely filled up more, and we're here to have a look at these. So these are the gingers, or sections of ginger. Try not to snap the tops out of them. There we are. So in this tray, got 3 that have definitely sprouted quite happily, as you can see. In this section, so far just 2 pieces, although there is a shoot down there, so that's another one. Section down there, or green eye down there, so that'll be fine. And it then depends whether these 2 do anything. Let's see if we can see any ring formation on those 2. No, so I reckon that we'll probably end up with, oh look, put that back, there's a shoot there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that's got some root to it, so that will probably form as well. 6, so yeah, we're going to end up with 9 sections of growing ginger out of that 1 piece of shop bought. So basically this whole time they've sat in here, which is it's a heated propagator unit. So sitting there, give them some nice base heat, and then once a week just give them a drink, and essentially that is it. So yeah, base heat is 20 degrees on these ones, I think, or 21 degrees, and then yeah, just keep them on the moist side so they're not going to dehydrate. Obviously you've got to remember that it's a tropical plant, and then once I get to about end of April, then I will look to pot them up, and they go into this sort of size 1 litre pot then. So I'll see you then. Well, I'm doing a few jobs in the greenhouse this evening. It's the 5th of March, and I wanted to show you how the ginger is getting on. So this ginger is 10 weeks on from when I started the video, and they are the cut segments that we began with, and you can see that every single one has now got a shoot growing from it in, well, one position or another, and essentially now well, let's have a look. Essentially now you can see that they're all got, there we are, they've all got decent root zones developing. I'll show you this one as well. Here we are. So they've all got decent root zones, and essentially, you know, look, nice and strong. Essentially now it's time to pot them up. So what I'm going to go into is a 1 litre pot. So I'm going to do 1 plant per pot, and I will be using a similar sort of mix. So to this I'm going to add some perlite, which is this white stuff. Again, just sort of well, about 10% actually, 10% by way of volume, and that's going to be my potting mixture for doing these. Okay, so we've got the potting mixture set up, so let's get going. Fill about halfway, I guess. Let's grab a plant, excuse the arm. There we are, so got that there, and you want to aim so that it's about well, same sort of level. It's going to finish the same sort of level in with the soil, and if we can can do, try and get your stem closer to the centre, just so then it's got somewhere to grow, or space to grow. And that's the first one, like so. Now to do the rest. So exactly the same principle, or say exactly the same. So we get that, we get this plant out, which definitely rooted a lot better. And once again, move into the centre, because the hope is that from here you'll then get more rhizome growth, which is essentially, the rhizome is the bit that you want, because that's the bit that you're going to be eating. And you'll find that the older bit over the course of the season will sort of rot away, really, as the new develops. So as you can see, we'll go around, always lightly firming, because you, particularly with the ginger, don't want to leave any air pockets, because that is where you end up with saturation points, which will definitely cause rotting. So let me just finish the rest, and then I'll come back and have a look. And there you have it. So all potted up, all 9 segments. So yeah, out of that one piece of root or rhizome that I bought from Sainsbury's supermarket, I now have 9 plants ready to go, and well on the way to giving me some decent ginger root for this coming season. So nice and, well, I say nice and simple. You got to be patient to get it done, and a heated propagator unit, but pretty easy otherwise. Okay, so that's video done. That's how to propagate your own ginger, or grow your own ginger from shop bought. As I say, relatively straightforward, but you do need to have a heated propagator or a heat mat to be able to do it. Yeah, nothing too technical, but if you do have any questions, then obviously send them over to me. I'll do my very best to answer them for you. This is about my 3rd year, I think. Yeah, 3rd year of growing ginger, might be 4th actually. And aside from last year when it got too hot, you can always get a fairly decent crop of ginger root in the UK, but you will need to treat it like a house plant. So that is, it can go out in the summertime, out into the garden that is, and then once you get to the autumn, so about the end of September, it needs to go back indoors. But yeah, in essence, this is how to grow it. If you obviously like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so don't miss out on all the future videos I'm doing. And I always say it, but yeah, it's so true. Enjoy what you're doing, have fun, and indeed try doing some of your own experimenting, and just see what you can achieve, whether it's from, well, things that you're given, or some different seed, or even, you know, plants and seeds from supermarket. So till next time, bye for now.